You're listening to World of Empowerment Radio, your station for practical spirituality in a changing world. And here are your hosts, Aingeal Rose and Ahonu.
Many years ago, high in a Himalayan mountain cave, there lived a wise old monk. And from time to time, he walked down the mountain to the local village to help the villagers with their problems. Sometimes he had a lot of fun, accurately telling the villagers the contents of their pockets, for example, answering their questions, and even reading their minds. But one day, there was a local boy, a cheeky little character, who decided to play a joke on the old man just to discredit his psychic abilities. His plan was to capture a butterfly and hide it in his cupped hands. He knew the monk would know what he was holding, but the boy planned to ask the old man if the butterfly was alive or dead. And if the wise man said the butterfly was alive, the boy would crush it in his hands in an instant, so that when he opened his hands, the butterfly would be dead. And if the wise man said the butterfly was dead, the boy would simply open his hands and let it fly free. So no matter what the old man said, the boy would prove that the old man was a fraud. And he thought himself pretty clever for having thought up this little plan. So the day came, and the old man came down from the mountain into the village. The villagers surrounded him, as usual, to ask their most difficult questions about their lives and their families. And the boy pressed his way to the front and asked, "Wise man, if you are as wise as everyone believes you are, then please tell me whether the butterfly in my hand is alive or dead." And for a moment it appeared as if the monk was at a loss for words, and the crowd went silent, and the boy smirked. He had cornered the wise old man. And a few moments passed, and the monk looked straight at the boy, deep into his eyes, and then down at his closed hands. And he shook his head from side to side slowly. "Son," he said, "whether the butterfly is alive or dead is entirely in your hands. It's yours to choose." Now, we get asked similar questions like this all the time. Questions like, does God exist? Am I really alive? What happens after death? And if you say God exists, the next question becomes, well, what's he like? Followed quickly by, why doesn't he show himself? And there are many questions like these that are all emotionally charged traps, usually asked by someone who wants to discredit us or boost their own misconceptions through trickery and ignorance. And the answer is always in our own hands. We can access these answers through watching our reactions. Were you watching your reactions to the story of the monk and the butterfly? Did you secretly want the boy to be exposed or the monk to be vindicated? Did you feel vindicated by the outcome, or were you saddened in some way that a boy would even try to trick an old monk? We can all agree that our emotional bodies and the emotional bodies of most of the world are out of whack. Why? Well, we are a reactive species. The reactive level is where most of us fail emotionally. We're familiar with our reactions to the daily news, to violence all around the world, to the insane and out of control actions of people, to the grief we witness all around us, to our own personal tragedies, and more. An image of a starving child can break our hearts, and that prompts the next question. Why does God allow suffering? We react to our own sense of powerlessness to do anything to help the destructive conditions in our world, or to our own personal struggles. Equally, We react to expressions of love and kindness, to acts of courage and to the birth of babies, to pets and to animals. We're a collection of emotions. We're capable of experiencing love, attraction, joy, gratitude, devotion, fear, worry, rage, frustration, anger, guilt, sorrow, blame, euphoria, and so much more. And when we experience a positive emotion, we want it to last forever. But when we experience a negative emotion, we want to get rid of it as soon as possible. In fact, we've invented a multitude of solutions to evoke euphoric states as well as suppress negative and painful ones. However, the fact that we can feel it all is the most amazing gift. But clearly, we've not mastered it, and we have not mastered our emotional bodies. You see, feelings are filled with deep spiritual information. Each type of feeling, whether positive or negative, can take us into a deep place within, a place that connects us to our personal and our universal heart space. Compassion resides here. Forgiveness, love, understanding, and wisdom lives here. To get to this place requires allowing ourselves to fall deeply into a feeling, to allow it to be for as long as it needs to be, without denial or repression. To get the maximum benefit from our amazing ability to feel, we must not deny it or force it to be an expanded version of itself. We must accept our amazing ability to feel without wanting to change or reject our capacity in any way. You see, feelings are a form of energy. Feelings are a form of energy because they go through their own process of evolution. If we thwart this process, emotions get congealed within us and become illnesses and mental stress. Feelings expand our knowledge of ourselves and others. Feelings expand our knowledge of the many aspects of life. Feelings give us our sensitivity and our self-awareness. And falling into an emotional state brings us into the wholeness of ourselves. We can feel everywhere within us and observe how that emotion is affecting how we function. All emotions are energy. And as we feel them deeply and observe their movement through us without stopping that movement, we eventually arrive at a place of deep peace and understanding. The emotion gets to complete its journey of evolutionary movement, and we are enriched by it. The ability to feel deeply opens our higher senses. Our humanity is expanded. We become a source of loving kindness, and we are one step further to God realization without requiring trickery. The answer to our purpose has been in our hands all the time. This article was originally written by Aingeal for Brainz magazine. Thank you for listening. Blessings from myself, Ahonu, and from Aingeal.
You can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and on our website at worldofempowerment.com.
Don't miss an episode. Hit the subscribe button now.